Всем привет! Это главная медиа о людях Центральной Азии We Project. И сегодня мы зададим 27 вопросов сооснователю и SEO Glovo. Привет, Оскар. Где мы сейчас находимся?
Hello, so we are at Astana office. It's one of our two offices here in Kazakhstan. Here we're with the team, and here you can see the map of all the offices where all the cities where we operate in the country. It's 14 cities in total. We launched the country in 2019, and it's one of our most important countries in this region with a lot of growth ahead. And another thing you can see here is our values. We have 6 values in our company. This is what define how we hire people, how we operate, what brings us together. So we have a value called gas, a value called stay humble, and there's a total of 6.
Хорошо, спасибо. Что вы делали 30 минут назад?
So I woke up, and I always do some stretching when I wake up. I was in the hotel. I arrived last night from Istanbul.
Круто. Как долетели?
My flight was okay. We arrived super late, so I went to bed like at 4 a.m. And this interview is at 9 a.m. So I'm still waking up a bit.
Итак, Glovo. Что это для вас? Какая миссия у компании?
So at Glovo, we want to make everything accessible in a city. No? We want to be able to deliver any product in a city in a matter of minutes. And we do this through the best technology that we can. No? We operate in 25 countries in the world. And as I said, Kazakhstan is one of our most important countries today.
Какое главное правило есть в Glovo?
I think the main rule of Glovo is to stay very hungry and ambitious, but at the same time be very humble. I think we really like people with humility. So I would say the mix and the combination of these two things, the humbleness and the ambition.
Как давно вы создали Glovo?
We founded Glovo in 2015, right when I finished university. I went back home to my parents' house, and this is when I founded Glovo in Barcelona.
Не хотите кофе?
I'm good.
Как к вам пришла идея создать Glovo?
I came up with the idea because as a young kid, one of my happiest moments in the week was when we ordered pizza with my family every Sunday night. And we ordered through telephone, no? So we had to call a telephone. It was always the same pizza. And we thought, hey, there has to be a better way to do this. No? I'm sure there can be something where you can build a company where you unlock all the content in the city and you can order through an app. And this is how we started in 2015.
Что помогло вам построить успешную компанию?
So the number one and the most important thing that helped me is the team and therefore the culture that we've built. You can be very strong, very smart, very hardworking, but if you want to build a very sizable company, you cannot do it alone. No, you need a very strong team. And I think we built a very strong culture because since day one we had very, very tough competitors. All of our competitors had a lot more money than us. They fundraised a lot more than us. And we were left with the only option of doing more with less. No? We had to always do more with less, and I think this allowed us to build a very resilient culture and a culture that unites the team a lot. So I think, I would highlight the team and the culture we've built.
Спасибо. Сколько у вас сотрудников в компании?
Today we have over 3,000 employees in offices. Half of them are in Barcelona, which is where we built most of our technology, and the other half is spread across the countries and the cities where we operate.
Согласны ли вы с тем, что незаменимых людей нет?
I think there's very, very strong talent that you really need to make sure as a founder, as a CEO, that they are happy and they're engaged in the company. You don't want to lose top performers. We rank all the company, all the employees based on performance and culture fit. And the ones that score the highest, you really want to make sure they stay. That said, whenever we lose someone, we're very sad, but the company keeps moving. So back to your question, yes, I would not say there's nobody replaceable.
Каким должен быть сотрудник Glovo?
I think a Glovo employee is one that wants to grow professionally, that is very ambitious with their own career and sees Glovo as a platform to grow professionally, and at the same time is someone that is very driven by the impact that we're having in the cities. No? So that is very connected to the impact we're having with couriers, with partners and with customers.
Что вы лично обычно заказываете в Glovo?
So I order a lot of lunch when I'm in the office. At home we cook. At home we cook dinner, so I don't usually order for dinner. And we also order for groceries. And then when there's a special event, like Mother's Day, Father's Day, I also order a present for my mother or for someone that I love.
Назовите 3 главных качества топ-менеджера.
I think in Glovo 3 main qualities. One is high standards. No? So he sets a very high standards culture of working in their team. 2 is transparency. So building a culture in their team where there is trust and everything is transparent. And 3, I would say hard work. We believe a lot in working hard to deliver big outputs, and we think leaders also need to represent that value.
Сколько часов в день вы работаете?
So we don't think it's a matter of number of hours. Of course, if you're doing your job with 5 hours every day, we believe you can do more. I think it's more important the ambition and the intensity. No? So for us, working hard, it's not only working many hours, it's also how ambitious your goals are and how intense you are at work.
Что вам нравится в вашей работе?
What I like in my work is that we're building something that is used by millions of people, both on the user side, on the courier side, and on the partners. So it's a platform that is massively used. And I think this is what makes one very happy, realizing that you're building things that people use.
А что не нравится в работе?
So I'm a vegetarian, so what I don't like about my work is that very often I have to speak with burger chains, and I'm not a big fan of burger chains, but it's just part of my work.
Системность или креативность? И почему?
I'm an engineer, so I always opt more for consistency. I think through consistency and through being very systematic, you can also achieve creativity. But yeah, if I have to choose one, I'm more systematic than creative.
Работа в найме или собственный бизнес? Почему?
So I think the most important thing is to feel that you're building something. If you own it or not, I think it's less relevant, but I think what drives happiness at work is to feel that you're building something. No? And I think this is what we try to do at Glovo with all the local teams and all the headquarters teams, that they are building their own projects and they're owners of it.
Хорошо, спасибо. Какой у вас распорядок дня? Есть ли любимый ритуал?
So in terms of my routine, I would say I try to wake up very early, between 5 and 6. The first hour of the day, it's like my Zen hour where I work, I check emails, I try to clear all my emails, I'm a big fan of coffee, so it's also a moment where I drink 1 or 2 coffees. Also part of my routine is to exercise every day. In Barcelona, we're lucky to have a mountain close to the city, and I usually do mountain biking. And then also what I try to do is always be home for dinner. No? So I always try to avoid work dinners and always be home with Elena, who's my partner, my girlfriend since high school, and always be there, before 8.
Капучино или латте?
I don't drink milk, so it's no cappuccino, no latte. I do espresso americano.
Какую самую высокую вершину вы покорили?
So I like mountains a lot, but I haven't climbed. Yeah, for hiking, the tallest one is the tallest one in the Pyrenees, which is called Taneto. But it's not very high. I mean, it's like 3.6 thousand meters.
Оскар, а как вы отдыхаете?
I think through exercise. This is where I rest mentally. I do cycling and I run. And yeah, this is how I think I rest.
Сколько километров вы обычно пробегаете?
So I like to exercise every day, and I do like between 1 hour and 90 minutes of exercise. And while I do that, I either just think or I listen to podcasts. I really like listening to podcasts as a way to learn.
О чем обычно вы слушаете подкасты?
Podcast about business. Some of them are also about life and happiness, but most of them are about business, yes. My favorite one, I have 2 favorite ones. One is called Scott Galloway. I really like him. And the other one is called Acquired, which talks about, they describe the story of very large companies in detail.
Подкаст или книга? Что бы вы выбрали?
I mean, I read a lot in my work, so I don't have a lot of time to read when I go home. So I usually do more podcasts. Yes.
У меня есть вопрос насчет книг.
Yeah, sure.
Порекомендуйте книгу для будущих топ-менеджеров.
Yeah, I think one book that sometimes I go back to because it's very, very good. It's called High Output Management by Andy Grove, the CEO of Intel. He talks about basic management things, but it's really well written, and I think it's a book that all managers and leaders should have in their mind.
Спасибо. Какой вы дадите совет тем, кто хочет построить успешную карьеру или компанию? Один совет.
So I would say hard work and patience. I think it's very hard these days, with all the talent competition out there, to build a very successful career without working hard between your 20s and 40s. I think this always has to be there. And second is patience. I think also being resilient, having some patience and persist on something that maybe you're not super happy with I would also say it's key. We sometimes see some talent that are very impatient to move to the next step, and actually those professionals that are a bit more patient and just doing their work really well day to day, they end up accelerating their careers. So I would say hard work and patience. Yeah, so great to talk to all of you. Great, happy to do this interview. We're super excited with this country. It's my first time visiting after launching Kazakhstan 5 years ago. But this is a country where we think super long term. A lot of growth is going to come. A lot of new shops and restaurants to be onboarded. A lot of new customers to be onboarded in the app. And our focus will remain keep delivering everything in the city in a matter of minutes. So if you haven't tried the app, download it, try it out. And yeah, great to meet you all. Goodbye.